I don't know. Today, interpreting the relationship. Actually, this will go real world on you. This will start to deal with actual real world situations. All those Y's and X's and all that stuff might have been driving you nuts. It might not be your thing. This will be more real world. Some people find this easier when we just start to talk about real world situations. Yay! Yay! So, relationship scenario. Jonathan sells magazine subscriptions. Actually, this used to be a big deal. Selling magazine subscriptions was actually a pretty good moneymaker. You just go door to door and say, hey, would you like magazines? People loved magazines. And so they were happy to buy it off you, and you could make some pretty decent money just going up to people's houses selling subscriptions. Each week, he earns a base salary of $100 plus $10 for every subscription he sells. Let's get to the bottom of what's going on. Forget all the crazy math we've been doing, which I'll get to in a minute at the bottom to give it away. There are two things we want to talk about here. We want to talk about N, which is the number sold. Please write that all in there. Both are very helpful. We're going to need both. And then E, earnings. Just in case you're very upset that I'm using E and N, if you don't like that, write X and Y at the top. And you can use that because it fits into everything else we've been doing. But it's about 50-50. About half the people are quite happy to use my new letters E and N, and about half the people are like, can you just leave it with Y's and X's, please? I was starting to get that. Hey, I like both ways. So let me ask you this. If Jonathan sells 0 subscription, tough week, he went house to house to house. Everybody said no. How much money is he still going to get paid? Yeah. 100. Don't shout out, okay? I love that you know the answers. I'm going to ask you next, okay? $100. He still gets $100. A lot of jobs pay like this, actually. I had a job like this that I told you about before, working at the stereo store. They paid me $125 a week just to start, no matter what I sold. Why? Because I had to still dust the TVs, unload the boxes. There was still work I was doing there that wasn't selling, so they were willing to pay me for that part of the job, too. Jonathan gets 100 for trying. What if he sells one? Peter, you ready this time? 1 subscription. How much total money does he get? 110. Easy enough? Yeah. And if you think this is easy enough, then good. You probably like real world problems better than what we've been doing, because real world problems can be pretty straightforward. You just got to think it through. What if he sells 2 subscriptions? Emma? 120. What if he sells 3? Peter? 130. By this point in the table of values in this chapter, hopefully you're bored. You're like, I get it. I know what's going on. And actually, you're supposed to do some of this patterning in elementary school. You might remember this. Once you had the pattern, you just kept going there. And I'm trying to bring that back to fit it in with what we've been doing. It says then graph that. Okay, well, I'm going to graph the number of subscriptions. So I'm going to do along here, I'm going to do N, which is number sold. And along there, I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going by ones there makes a lot of sense, but going by ones the other way probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This is earnings. Now, you don't have to write it sideways. I think I just do it because I think it's fun to write earnings sideways. Do you agree that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be a really bad choice here? The earnings go up to 140. I better make sure my graph goes up to something higher than that. Can anyone suggest a number that might be a good number to go up by, Peter?
200.
200 could work. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. It goes up by a lot. But you meant 200, it's got to get up to 200. Is that what you meant?
50.
Oh, yeah, 50s would be good? Yeah, there's lots of good choices. See, I'm accepting most of his answers. How do you know for sure? Well, you just count up by it and see how far it gets. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500. Is that a lot higher than here? Yeah, it's a lot higher. So maybe 50's a little much, actually. 20. Oh, let's try 20 and see what happens. I think 20 works out good. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, and I think this is what Peter actually meant. Let's get it to go up to 200. I think that works pretty well. I'm going to switch colors. You don't have to switch colors. I just want to make sure that you can see it okay. And then you just graph the points like we've been doing. Do you see? This fits in with what we've been doing. 0 this way, and then up to 100. That's the first point on the graph. And then 1 is at 110. Oh, that's between 2 points. That's okay. 2 is 120. 3 is 130. 4 is 140. Do you see it's a line? Just like we've been doing? And hopefully you're seeing now, oh, it really is the same thing we've been doing as far as finding these points and drawing a line through it. So it's at that point in the example where I hope I've convinced you this is a lot like, hey, that wasn't a straight line. Oh, and I got to deliver rulers, don't I? Hold on. That's my favorite part, is delivering the rulers. But I'll draw my straight line through. Yeah, like that. Put an arrow on the end. Because he can sell as many subscriptions as he wants. Go to my pile of rulers and do my deliveries. I promise not to fling them at you, even if you didn't do your homework. None for me, he says. Ruler. Oh, that one's got a sheath but no ruler. Ruler. Emma's got her own ruler. Jaden's ruler. Oh, he tried it. Yours looks pretty straight anyway. She did it without the ruler. Ruler. Daniel. Ruler. 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 Look.
Thank you.
I guessed the exact right amount.
Ooh.
I should buy a lottery ticket today. It was amazing.
That sounds like a decent idea.
All right. Now, friends, here's where I bring back what we've actually been doing. Hopefully, I could have done that example on the very first day, and you would have been like, yeah, okay, I get it. But now I bring it back to what we've been talking about. What's the slope or the rate here? How much is this graph going up by? How much? How much does it go up by?
20, 10.
10. It's going up by 10 every time. And I can see that on the graph. See, look at over 1 up 10, over 1 up 10. I can also see it in the table of values. Yeah, it's going up 10s right there. That's where the slope and rate fits into regular word problems. How about the y-intercept, or the starting point? Where does it start on the vertical axis? 100. If we have those two things, we can build the equation. I'm going to do it with y's and x's, but also c's and n's. You can choose for what you want. What does equation of a line?
Y equals mx plus b.
He read my mind. I didn't even get to finish my question, and he buzzed in. You ever watch Family Feud?
Name something.
Oh, it's a great game show.
Name something.
Yeah. He buzzed in before I even had the full question out. So, y equals, which one's the m?
10
10? Which one's the b?
plus 100.
Plus 100. Now, I use c's and n's, so it really should be 10n plus 100. And I don't really mind if you really get that right now or not. Instead of y's and x's, I used c's and n's. You see?
C.
See?
C.
See, yeah. All right. Do you have any questions about that? Okay, I'm going to jump from what's actually a fairly easy one, hopefully, to one that's really kind of hard. I think it asks us to do it. Asks us to do it in reverse. Do you need more time here? No scenario, no table of values, no graph. How can I possibly do the question? Look, at the bottom, they give the slope, they give the intercept, and they give the equation. Maybe you'll find these easier, actually. I've got to make up a scenario, a situation, a life something, where the start value is 10, and it goes up by 50 cents.
50. Okay.
You get to choose. What situation would you like to make up where you might start at 10 and go up by 0.5s?
I'll just say a random name. Audrey.
Audrey.
Audrey works at a newspaper maker
Yeah.
factory, and gets a starting payment of $10. And every time she prints out a newspaper, she gets 50 cents.
She gets $10.
She always gains $10 no matter what.
I'm going to make it $10 per day.
$10 a day.
Yeah.
And then every newspaper she prints, she gets an extra 50 cents.
Plus 50 cents per newspaper. Now, are we trying to be realistic when we make up these questions? I don't know. I'm not going to hold you to it. Like, I'm not going to take marks off in the test and go, oh yeah, who gets 50 cents a newspaper? Maybe she prints lots of newspapers. Maybe she prints thousands of newspapers and this makes sense. I don't know. Like, well, let's not get hung up on, let's not make it too real, yes? Well, then I'm off to the races. Table of values. I'm going to put it at the top this time to save one extra spot, but you don't have to. Number. Earnings, just like the last one. What if she sells what if she makes 0 newspapers today? How much money does she get? $10. What if she makes 1 newspaper? $10.50, and we're off to the races here. You see, it's really the same question with different numbers that we just did. Different scenario, and you get to make up the scenario. So 2 would be up to $11. 3 would be up to $11.50. 4 would be up to $12. And 5 would be up to $12.50. Peter.
Can you turn on the fan?
Yeah. Let's see if it's going to work. Oops. There we go. Same thing. We'll make the graph. Number of newspapers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Earnings. Well, what do you want to go up by this time?
Well, we could do also a special technique.
What's that?
Well, we could draw a zigzag at the start part to start at a different
Oh, have you seen this before? I don't need you to do it, but he says do a little zigzag. And if you do a little zigzag at the start, then you don't have to start at 0. You can start wherever you want. Let's start at 10, he says. I like this.
And then go up by 50 cents.
And go up by 50 cents. I'm actually going to do an even better trick. I'm not going to write on every single line. If you can fit it in, you go ahead and write 10, 50, 11, 50, if you want. I'm actually just giving you permission. You don't have to write on every line. You just have to make sure you show on there. I like his trick. Where did you see that?
Last year.
Oh, you saw it last year. Okay. 0, 10, 1, 10.50, 2, $11, 3, $11.50, 4, $12, 5, $12.50. That's enough. Get out your ruler, and away you go. You know what your question should be? Is everything in life a straight line? No.
Not always.
Everything in this chapter is, though. And in other chapters, we'll do other things. Okay, so yeah, if the straight line thing always working out to be straight line, you can take that as good news for this test, where you're like, okay, I know going in that on this test, we're going to do a lot of straight lines. And then we'll do other situations in other chapters.
When's the test?
That's a very good question. It's actually a fairly long chapter. This is 1.5. I think we go all the way to 1.10, so it's like all next week, then the test. That might make you feel good, but it means it's a big test. It covers a lot of stuff. That's why the assignments and everything are so important and why I was sort of tense earlier, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah? I was tense for your sake. I'm going to do great in the test. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about it for me. I'm worried about it for you.
Are we at least going to have a review day?
Yeah, we'll have review, practice test. That's all coming.
Okay.
But the assignments are the best thing you can do to help yourself out on that right now. Do you have questions? All right. How many more do I got to do? I got to do 2 more. Okay? 2 more situations. I'm trying to catch every situation. The first one, so you see through my teaching. The first one, I give you the situation, you build everything else. Second one, I gave you all the bottom stuff, slope, the y-intercept, and the equation. You got to make the scenario. Now I'll just mix and match that. This is all we're doing today. Taking graphs and situations and making scenarios, and that's all we're up to today. And the homework should go fairly fast, giving you time to go back and do your assignments. Homework first, then assignments today, friends. Okay? Do you need more time here? All right. Different situation. All they gave me was the table of values. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choices of what I could try and fill in. I don't know what you think is easier. Or maybe you think something's easier than someone beside you. What would you like to do first? The graph, the slope, the y-intercept, or the equation? She wants to do the slope, the y-intercept, and the equation. She thinks she can build these things out of here. I'm going to help, okay? Because this one's got a little problem with it, but I'm going to help. If I go from 75 to 65, have I gone up or down? Down. So that's down 10. Okay? But how long did that take? That took 50 kilometers. So I've tried to give you 2 pieces of information. And watch me do my ridiculous example here. Don't tell anyone this is what I did. I won't say what I'm doing on the video, so I can't get into trouble. Take a look, please. Are you looking? Look! What 2 things do I need to know to find slope? Rise and run. Oh, I might do some rising and running here myself if I'm not careful. Would you laugh if I fell? Oh, that'd be a good story, wouldn't it? Top fell on his head today. It was awesome. Which one's the rise?
10.
Minus 10. Minus 10, good.
Negative 10.
And then which one's the run?
50.
50. Now the big question is, should I try to reduce that fraction? Yeah. What number divides into both 10 and into 50?
0.
0 does not divide into 10 and 50.
Well,
You like 5? 5 works. Is there a bigger number that divides into both 10 and 50? Gwen? 10 divides. 5 would have worked, but then you would have had to do 2 as well, which is fine too. Yeah, but 10 works. Shh. How about the y-intercept or the starting point? What's the starting point for this one? And I'm going to ask you how you know.
75.
It is totally 75.
Because that's the first number we were given when it's when the starting number is
At 0, yeah, it's got to be at 0. Yeah? I think there's one homework question where it doesn't start at 0, and you're like, well, how do I know? You just build the pattern backwards till you get to 0. You might have to go backwards and figure out what goes to 0. How are we doing, Emma? You want to do equation 2? You want to do it? Yes. She says sure. What is it? Did you write down y equals mx plus b before you did it, or you're just that good now that you can just do it? She's just that good. Maybe you're not quite there. Maybe you're still writing, when you're thinking out equations, you're going to write mx plus b there.
I read it anyway.
Yeah, either way, it's fine. Okay, we did all that. She claimed that was the easiest thing to do, or she claimed that's what you want to do first. Of the 2 things that are left, I got to make up a word problem, and I got to make a graph. Which one do you think is easier to do now? Okay, I've heard both now. And that's true about your homework too. You'll have choices about which one you want to do first, okay? So that's, don't worry too much about that. So, what do we decide the relationship? Liters of gas kilometers driven. But the liters of gas is going down. What could this liters of gas be representing as your kilometers goes up? Gas? Where's this gas?
Oh, in the car.
In the car, yeah. So pretty straightforward situation, I guess. Mr. Todd's tank has 75 liters of gas, and he's using 10 over 50 liters every kilometer, or 10 liters every 50 kilometers. Yeah, you could rate that either way. And then we're ready to build this. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't go by ones along the bottom.
Go by 2.5s.
I got to get all the way to 150.
Go by 25.
25, he says 25, 50, 75, 100, 120, 150. That will work just fine. Okay? And because I don't have much room, I give you permission to write on every second line. Sometimes there's just not enough space to write on every line. So instead of going 25 every single one, I went 50 every other one. And then this is liters. That's got to get up to 75. You see, even I'm hesitating, going, ones isn't going to do it. Does fives do it?
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Fives didn't do it.
2.
Two's not going to. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, not even close. So bigger than 5,
How high do you gotta go?
I got to get up to 75.
15.
15 would work. 15 would work. 10's a little easier. If you agree, counting by 10 is a little easier. But what, it doesn't matter, actually. You get to choose. So I'm going to go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,
We got 10.
100. Can you do me a favor and leave the rulers for just a second? Yes? We all right? I know, it's fascinating, but okay, first one, 0, 75. Then 50, 65. Okay, careful here now. 50, 65. Leave the rulers alone. We are a grade 10 class. Yes?
Yeah.
We should be able to leave the rulers alone
And
for
yeah.
just a few minutes. Thank you. 155. 150, 45. Get out your ruler now. Now you get out your ruler and draw the line. I did it in a different color. I hope that doesn't bother you. Any questions about that? By the way, in the homework, you don't have to do all those steps. It only wants the equation. So at each situation, you just got to figure out the equation. You might be done really fast, giving you time to do homework. Or sorry, not homework. What are we doing after the homework?
Assignment.
Your assignments. I'm making a checklist. I'm calling you over. I'm making a checklist. I'm going to call people over and go, here's what I've got of your assignment so far, so you know what you're working on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Do you need more time on this one? How many more do I got to do? One more? My brain tells me one more. Yes? Yes, one more. I saved the toughest one for last. This is the one that people have trouble with. Given a graph, can you build everything else? I don't know what the easiest thing is. I suspect, no, I think I know which one I would do first. Shh. Given the graph, oh, I thought she was just confiscating it. She was going to use it. I thought she was actually taking it from you. That was funny. All right. Which of these things? We can build the word problem. We can build a table of values. We can go right to slope and rate, right to y-intercept. There's lots of choices here. What do you think is the easiest?
Rise over run.
He's so, oh, yeah, okay. I think you're first and then you're second. I think y-intercept is by far the easiest thing to find because you just go right here and you go, there it is right there. What value does it have? 0. And better yet, I've got my table of values started. I know this thing starts at 0. So, people have trouble with the graphs. And slope maybe is not easy. I think it is easy. But it may not be easy. But the y-intercept should be easy. Bang, you just read off where the y-intercept is. But Peter told us what to do. He said find rise over run. Pick a good dot like this one, see this? And build your nice big rate triangle, your science teachers will call it. How much is it rising by? 600. Good. Lots of people say 3. 1, 2, 3. They just count the squares because it's my fault. The way I taught it, you just count squares. But here, it's going up 600. How about the run? 4. And slope is easy and fun. Just remember. Rise over, thank you. I was hoping we'd done that real enough. Just remember rise over run, 600 over 4. Who's got their calculator? What's 600 divided by 4? Does it work? He already knows it. He doesn't need a calculator. What now? Equation, table of values, or the scenario? She likes table of values. I think so too, because we know it goes up by 150s. So for 1, go up by 150. At 2, go up by another 150. Maybe you need your calculator there. I don't know. I don't know how good you are at adding 150s.
450, isn't it?
3 is 450. Good. Peter doesn't need his calculator. How about 4? 600. How about 5?
750.
Again, if your mental math is not there, that's okay. It's not a course in mental math. You might be typing them in. That's good. We only got 2 more to go. Equation and the scenario. Which one do you like? Yeah. Y equals mx plus b. He was already saying it. Go again.
Y equals 150
X
x
plus.
5. Wait, 0.
And you can write it like that. I'll mark it right. I'll be so happy. But don't be surprised. You could just write it as y equals 150x. Oops. My pen's doing the funky chicken there. Plus 0 really doesn't do anything. So you don't have to write that there if you don't want to. Okay. Well, I actually think we could have done the scenario a lot earlier. The graph sort of tells you. What does it say? Number of days. And over here, total money raised. It's laying right there. The money raised must be some kind of charity thing. I totally spelt that wrong. I spelt it like raisin. The money raised starts at 0 and is going up 150 per day. Tell me your questions, friends. Now, your homework asks you, all it says is come up with equations. If you can read the situation, you know what's going on, you might do the equation right away. Maybe you'll want to build a table of values to do it. I don't know. That's up to you. You might need a little help on that, but that could go really quick. Now, I made it as partner A, partner B, encouraging you to work with friends, but you don't have to if you'd prefer to just do it on your own. Yeah? So if you're going to do partner A, partner B, then A tells B what to do in the first column, and then B tells A what to do in the second column, so you both learn how to do it. There's only 10 of them. I say only, if that sounds like a lot, it's not. It's like bang, bang, bang. Some of these may go really, really fast. Then, friends, what would you do after that when you finish your homework? Then get back to work on your assignment.